The single dad stood still. Then did the unthinkable it happened on a rainy Thursday morning. The kind of morning where the world feels heavy, and the people walking through it feel even heavier. That's when Ethan Brooks, a single dad working as a building maintenance worker, walked into the top floor of a corporate tower. He was exhausted, carrying the weight of bills, parenting, and a life that rarely slowed down for him. But today, someone else was breaking too. Inside the CEO's corner office, glass walls, city landscape, everything polished to perfection, sat Victoria Langford, one of the most powerful executives in the state. She didn't look powerful today. She sat hunched over her desk, hands trembling, eyes red like she hadn't slept in days. When Ethan entered to fix the malfunctioning AC vent, she didn't look at him. She just whispered, "Please, just make it fast." Not rude, not demanding, just defeated. Ethan froze for a moment. Something in her voice sounded painfully familiar. The same tone he had the night his wife passed. The same tone he had when he didn't know how to tell his 8-year-old daughter their world had changed forever. He realized she wasn't talking about the AC. This wasn't a scene giving an order. This was a human being asking for help. "Ma'am," he said softly, "are you okay?" She blinked, surprised anyone even noticed her pain. "Do I look okay?" she whispered, trying to laugh, but breaking instead. And then it spilled out. Her father had suffered a stroke the night before. He lived 3 states away. The doctors weren't sure he'd make it through the day. Her driver wasn't available. Her assistant had messed up the flight booking. Traffic to the airport was a nightmare. She was stuck, powerless, terrified. And nobody in her world of polished marble and corporate titles seemed to care. He grabbed his phone that he called his friend Jack to pick up his daughter from school. And then he looked at the CEO and said, "Come with me. I'll get you there." She stared at him, confused, desperate, hopeful. "You have work," she said softly. "I have a heart," he replied. He led her out of the building. She expected a car. Instead, he took her to the underground parking lot, to his old, beat-up motorcycle. It wasn't fancy, it wasn't impressive, but it could slip through traffic faster than any limousine ever could. "You trust that thing?" she asked. "I trust me," Ethan said, and somehow, someway, she believed him. Ethan drove like a man who knew what loss felt like. Victoria held on to him, not as a CEO, not as a superior, but as a daughter terrified of losing her father. They made it to the airport in record time. Victoria sprinted inside, but before disappearing beyond security, she turned back and looked at Ethan with eyes overflowing with gratitude. "Why would you do this for me?" she asked. Ethan swallowed, emotion tightening his voice. "Because someone once helped me when they didn't have to." This story reminds us that kindness still matters. Ethan assumed she forgot all about him, until a letter arrived. Inside it was a handwritten note. "My father survived. I made it to the hospital because of you. That I will never forget what you did." And below it, a job offer. Head of facilities, better pay, health insurance. A schedule that finally let him spend evenings with his daughter. At the bottom, she had written, "Sometimes the highest-ranking people aren't the ones in the corner office. Sometimes they're the ones with a good heart." Ethan folded the letter and hugged his daughter tightly. He didn't do anything extraordinary. He just chose compassion over convenience. And that choice changed everything. Because when life gets loud and harsh and busy, we forget something simple. One act of kindness can shift an entire world. And that day, in a corporate hallway, in a racing motorcycle, in a terrified CEO's heart, it did that. If you want, I can also create.